Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at the Ringside Collectibles Unsanctioned Classic Superstars Road Warriors in red. Ringside announced this Unsanctioned Classic Superstars, I think it was last week. No idea what it was going to be. I didn't have much interest in their bell-to-bell stuff. I just never imagined that what we'd be getting were elite-style figures that they had never mentioned they were doing, had no idea were coming, and I also certainly didn't expect that they'd be here 2 days after I ordered them. That's crazy. They went up for sale Thursday, February, 26th? Or was it Wednesday? Oh, man. Now I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday. No, I think it was Thursday. And it is Saturday, March the 1st, as I sit here and review these. Unbelievable turnaround. Now, granted, I did choose FedEx 2-day, but sometimes maybe they're not shipping until Monday. Maybe they're like, you never know how retailers have to organize things because they're shipping out. I don't know how many of these they shipped, but they did sell out of the initial allotment of both these, the red ones, and the silver version, which I think the silver ones are more toyetic, but I don't have any Road Warriors right now, and if I'm going to have them, I want the red ones. They were $58.99, but use code MAJOR, get 10% off. That really didn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to, because this is like magnetic, which I didn't know until just now. Anyway, use code MAJOR, paid for the shipping, whatever. I just knew I wanted these as soon as I could get them. I just didn't imagine as soon as I could get them would be this soon. They come, of course, in this nice shipping case, and then here they are. I'm looking at them, and this is just unbelievable that a company did this without saying anything about it. And that at first glance, they look this good. That I kind of, once I recognized that they were elite style and not, because when I first saw them, my assumption was, using that Classic Superstars name, my assumption was that they were going to be like Jack's Deluxe Aggression style. I certainly didn't expect an elite style figure. I thought, oh, they're okay, so they're taking over what Figures Toy Company was doing. But no, these look, well, we'll get into it. Once we get them out of the box, we'll take a look at the articulation and the sculpt and everything else about them and determine what they're closer to. But already, looks like Jazz wears waists, but these are pinless. I'm just absolutely blown away at this quality product coming out of nowhere. So the box feels pretty sturdy. Cardboard is pretty decent thickness. This is not that junky like Dollar Tree cardboard and window that you see on some independent products. Like, this feels pretty good. You could, obviously you're not getting these signed, but future releases potentially could be wrestlers that you could get signatures from. And this feels nice, sharp corners, well done packaging. So, if they were to do, demolition or something along those lines, this is nice enough that I would feel like, yeah, I'd get this signed. The Road Warriors, also known as the Legion of Doom, were iconic professional wrestlers known for their intimidating presence, face paint, and spiked shoulder pads. Animal and Hawk dominated the tag scene in the 1980s and 90s with their brute strength, intense style, and finishing off opponents with their signature move, the Doomsday Device. What a rush! Nice copy back there. You've got Animal 6'2", 305 pounds. Hawk 6'3", 270 pounds. So one of the immediate, we'll go ahead and get them out of here. But just nice quality packaging. I like the graphics, look great. I think they've done a nice job of designing this. So it looks like it's a nice looking product. something I'll go ahead and say right off the bat is they don't, I would love for them to be thicker, but I have said that about almost every wrestling figure I have ever bought. It's just oh look, you got a little background here, Road Warriors sign, hawk, animal. I actually like how subtle this is, and guess what? There's no gloss, so this is probably going to be what I use for the background of my thumbnail. Oh, I actually really like that. Modern wrestling figures are all, to me, just too skinny. They got skinny legs. Their bodies are not thick enough in general. They're all proportionally wrong. So for me, I just look at the aesthetic of, well, do these proportions work with the rest of the wrestling figures that I have? I recently reviewed the major figures from Power Town, and those, to me, are the most proportionally accurate figures, but they're way too big, like too tall. They don't match with elites or whatever. So these, I would like for them to be thicker, but in the visual aesthetic language of modern wrestling figures, they look like the right thickness to me. All right. So we've got multiple sets of hands. That was the other thing that surprised me. Again, for an independent release to come in at about retail price, because $58.99, that's what with 10% off, that's what I paid for them. Apparently, when they first went up, they were $54.99, which is, a little more reasonable. And yes, that is higher than mass market retail price. But you got to remember, these are not mass market retail figures. These things are not showing up in Target and Walmart. So whatever their production numbers were, that, by the way, sold out in about an hour, I think, they are not doing Hasbro, Mattel, McFarlane production numbers on these. So for them to keep the price point where it was, I think is tremendous. And I was not expecting alternate parts at all. Like when the image first popped up, I was like, well, it's probably just the figures. And then they actually have separate heads, extra hands, like really impressed. And again, I know I keep saying it, but really impressed that they came out of nowhere with them. Wow. All right. So, do a little comparison here. Actually, we'll put them there, and I just happen to have X-Pac out. Well, it's good. The reason I've got X-Pac out is because I just bought the newer X-Pac, the Monday Night Wars X-Pac, and I'm trying to decide which one to keep on the shelf because they're both pretty great. I like the face on this one better, but obviously the face on that one is incredible, but he doesn't have the headband. Anyway, we're not here to review X-Pac. I'm just trying to make a decision. If you've seen the older, and they both have the thug gear, so that's not really a consideration. Although, if you look, sorry, I can't help myself. If you look, the boot detail is done a little differently. The gold looks better on the old one, but the knee pads, which granted I could swap those out if I really wanted to, the rivets and the knee pads are painted. They're both good. All right, sorry. Sidetrack. So size-wise, X-Pac runs, I think he's about 6 feet tall. So, I mean, right there you can see this is an elite style set of figures. That's what they're going for. They're going to work on the shelf together. I mean, look at how skinny X-Pac is. So compared to these guys, or compared to him, these guys aren't as not beefy as they should be, I guess, if that makes sense. All right, so let's get him out of there. We'll take a look. Well, first of all, let's take a closer look at the shoulder pads. Are a little loose on them, but you could easily heat those up and push them down a little bit to get them fit a little better. But also you got to think, what are you doing with them? they're standing on the shelf. And then if you're doing figure photography or whatever, doing a match, like that's, you know, I don't need these to snap into place really. And they do have pretty good fit and they look incredible. So let's take those off and get a closer look. You can see all of that painted detail. Again, the painted rivets. You know, I love my painted rivets. But just the spikes, all of that looks absolutely incredible. Look at the way they did the strap on the back here. Or both straps. I mean, reference was used for this because look, it's the way, my guess is there's Velcro here, like these are attached and then they pull through slots right here and tighten them up. And then when they take them off, they just pull them apart. Like it's, but they didn't just say, well, this is probably how the back looks. Like they actually had to look at this and figure out how this mechanic worked. Spikes look great. Oh, they are kind of a rigid plastic. So these will poke you. You can see. I like that. But the pads themselves are softer and is a two-piece thing, which is interesting. So that means they could potentially do completely different shoulder pad sets and use this like this is an overlay. So that's pretty cool. All right. Portrait. I mean, it looks great. It looks great. Look at that lip. Here, we got to zoom in even a little bit more. Look at that lip, bottom lip poked out. Paint looks great. I've got a little mess up over here. I'm not too worried about it. This is another one of those cases where we're super duper zoomed in right now. And yes, I can see it with my naked eye, but at the same time, like, I don't know if his face paint's perfect every single time. I'm not going to raise a stink about that. Mohawk looks great. And then the alternate portrait, which is probably the one I'm going to use anyway, because those teeth, I mean, that's what, let's see how easy this is to switch out. Oh, plastic feels good. Articulation is very, here, we'll zoom back out some. Articulation is very much like Jazzwares, but a little tighter. But like Jazzwares, and this isn't showing up as much in the video, your skin tones are different across the different kinds of plastic. Like this chest, because this is more like an ABS, and everything else is more like a softer PVC. So the skin tones don't quite match here. But that's, I don't love it, but it's also not uncommon. And all the Jazzwares figures look like that. So articulation-wise, and the plastic feels good. You've got double jointed elbows. Moving pretty nicely. And like I said, they are pinless. Tattoo. Looks great. Sorry, I just hit my phone a little too hard there. Oh my gosh. It's the almighty Taz. So, okay, one, I did not realize that he had a Taz tattoo. Two, I can't believe they put Taz on this figure. Like, that's a licensed character, brother. I wonder if it's altered, like, just enough. I mean, it's pretty clearly Taz, though. That's wild. And then on the other side, you got some kind of muscle bear or something. I don't know. All right. Get back out here. So everything's moving nicely. Looks good. Sculpts are good. I mean, I'm sure, seen them. I don't know what kind of deal was worked here, but this is pretty clearly Jazzwares AEW style stuff, if not directly from their tooling. Got the Road Warriors across the waist. I'm just so happy it's not a cut joint at the waist. That to me was one of the things that was just far and above superior about Jazzware's stuff. Is that early on, the first wave, they had these much better waists than anything Mattel does. Design on the tights looks great. The knee pads are designed like a championship title. And I guess what I'll do is bend the knees. Oh, they don't. I figured this would pop right off, but you can see that one peg wants to come out. Out of concern of never being able to get these back on, I'm not going to mess with them, but they seem, I'm sitting here bending the knees, as much as they'll go under those knee pads. You can see that's a double jointed knee. And it's not popping off. I'm sure if I went all the way, it would. But also, you're getting the same degree of flexibility that you're getting with knee pads from other companies. I don't know, and tell me in the comments how you feel. Oh, look, that's going to pop right off there. Tell me in the comments how you feel. I would almost prefer knee pads that were sculpted onto the figure. I've never liked restriction on the figures. It bothers me. But, I get it. I understand why they do them this way. So what do you think? Tell me in the comments, would you rather the knee pads just be a sculpted part of the figure? It's kind of interesting that they've got like this. Is that in their boot design, or in copying tooling, is that where a pin would be? Interesting. But the boots look great. Manufacturing stamp, wrestlingfigures.com, and made in China. Oh, I was going to swap those heads out. So head pops right off. Look at that. It's got that nice neck pivot that I love. So this independent company can design with a pivot in there, but Hasbro can't get it back into their classified. Sad, Hasbro. Sad. Oh, look at that. Ah, great. Those pads back on, and there he is. Great. All right. Now, let's take a look at his partner. Shoulder pads are the same. And you can see the bodies. They actually are different torsos, which I didn't expect. That's one thing I noticed when I put my order in. Really, all the same consistency. Everything is just as quality. I like the fact that he's got black. Like, they are two different figures. It's not the same figure with different heads, and I appreciate that. Actually, are the arms the same? Yeah, the arms are the same. Like, I wish both arms were a little more jacked. But I think Hawk maybe should be even a little more jacked than that. Like, Hawk should be a little more jacked than Animal, shouldn't he? Yeah, you can't use that head. It's good. Portrait is solid. Here, we didn't do a zoom in. Sorry. Look, that's great. But come on. You got to. Like, that's not even a question. There we go. Super easy. And no tattoos over here. Let's see how easy it is to swap the hands out. All right. I'll have to look at some reference shots. to get some good poses for them. I'm sure you saw it in the thumbnail. But same deal, everything solid. These are fantastic. Would I like the proportions more if they had come from... oh, I didn't take it. Sorry, I didn't show off all the hands. So you've got fists for punching. You've got sort of C grip. And then you've got just open hands set for each figure. I think I would like the proportions more if Power Town had done them, but then they'd be way too big. So I will take something that scales with my elites over something that is proportionally correct, just because I've got hundreds of elites and you know, some Jazzwares are still mixed in as well over proportional correctness. Like I said, you have to judge this through the eyes of modern wrestling figure aesthetics and proportions and whatever else. You just have to. Well, you don't have to, but you're never going to be satisfied if you don't. But I am thrilled. I have finally got articulated, great-looking Road Warriors figures. It's something I've been wanting for years. I would love to see them done with the blue or black, like WCW style. But whatever the case, these are great. I'm very happy with them. As I said, the silver versions are a little more toyetic. They pop a little bit more, but I just don't have the emotional connection to those that I do with, I mean, the red and black. I think any wrestling fan you asked, if you said, you can only have one set of Road Warriors, what do you want? This would be it. So the pre-order is back up. They are doing another production run on these. They will be coming in, I think, at the end of June or July, somewhere around there. But you can pre-order these right now from Ringside Collectibles, and I think they're great. I'm thrilled with the value, everything about them, and especially, like I said, the turnaround's amazing. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.